There are chapters of prehistory that almost no one knows about, dark layers of evolution that reveal creatures armed not with forged metal, but with pure biological ingenuity. My name is Arthinox, and this is Cloaked Mysteries. Today, you're stepping into a world where nature didn't just create life-engineered living war machines. Creatures equipped with weapons so outrageous they would intimidate even the most terrifying predators of their era. Weapons shaped over millions of years, refined blow after blow, generation after generation. And the most unsettling part is that nothing you're about to see is fiction, exaggeration, or myth. Every method of attack, every defensive structure, every lethal adaptation truly existed. These creatures walked the earth, fought for survival, and dominated their environments with astonishing precision. Get ready, because what you're about to discover will completely transform the way you picture dinosaurs. After this video, you will never see them the same way again. Ankylosaurus. The Ankylosaurus was far more than a plant-eating dinosaur struggling to survive. It was a living monument to evolutionary engineering. Its entire body appeared purpose-built to endure devastating attacks, from layers of overlapping bone plates to rows of defensive spikes along its sides. It moved slowly, heavily, but every step radiated the confidence of a creature nearly impossible to topple. It turned the very concept of defense into an art form. Its osteoderms formed a rigid shield, almost like medieval armor, capable of blocking bites, impacts, and powerful charges from enormous predators. Each plate was strategically positioned, creating multiple layers of protection. For any hunter, biting this creature's back was like trying to crack stone with your teeth. Even the largest theropods avoided direct confrontation with this walking fortress. But nothing on its body was as intimidating as its tail. Several fused vertebrae created the perfect handle for a massive, heavy, bone-crushing club. When swung, this natural weapon could generate astonishing force enough to shatter limbs or knock a predator to the ground. It wasn't just strong, it was catastrophic, capable of delivering fatal fractures with a single well-aimed hit. The reach of this attack made the Ankylosaurus even more terrifying. With a single motion, it could sweep its tail across a wide arc, preventing any lateral approach. Predators were forced to keep their distance, making ambushes nearly impossible. Misjudging that tail's range could cost far more than a failed hunt, it could cost a life. Its sides were also protected by sharp lateral spikes that formed a secondary defensive barrier. These spikes discouraged low biting attacks and made any approach incredibly risky. A predator foolish enough to strike from the flank would collide with bone blades placed exactly where the Ankylosaurus was most vulnerable. It was a complete, multi-layered defensive system. In the end, the Ankylosaurus didn't need speed, didn't need fangs, and didn't need intimidating roars. Its very existence was intimidation enough. It moved calmly, confidently, carrying one of the most perfectly designed natural weapons ever produced by evolution, a true living tank that few dared to challenge. Stegosaurus. The Stegosaurus was a stunning example of how nature can transform defense into pure precision. It looked slow, harmless even, but all that changed the moment danger approached. Hidden behind that calm posture was a brutal weapon, four long, sharp spikes at the end of its tail. Each spike could exceed a meter in length, and together they formed a weapon no predator ever forgot. For years, scientists believed these spikes were merely decorative, but new evidence revealed that the Stegosaurus possessed a muscular, flexible tail capable of incredibly swift and accurate movements. It had complete control over its attack arc, striking with speed that caught predators off guard. Its strength wasn't in brute force, it was in its ability to strike exactly where it mattered. The spike tips were narrow and made for deep penetration. Fossils of major predators carry unmistakable signs of Stegosaurus attacks: holes in vertebrae, punctures in ribs, and wounds matching the angle and shape of its spikes. The Stegosaurus didn't just survive deadly encounters, it dominated them. Its famous backplates, often associated with display or temperature regulation, may have also served as visual intimidation. From a distance, they made the Stegosaurus appear larger and more dangerous. Predators were naturally funneled toward its sides, precisely where the tail had the greatest reach. Nature rarely wastes design, and the Stegosaurus is proof of that. Though it looked awkward, when threatened, it became a lethal machine. Its tail acted like a living spear system, capable of incapacitating predators much larger than itself. Nothing on its body was accidental, everything served a purpose shaped by the harsh demands of survival. In a world dominated by colossal predators, the Stegosaurus earned respect not through speed or size, but through precision. One clean strike from that tail could decide life or death, and predators learned that lesson quickly. Therizinosaurus. The Therizinosaurus looked like something pulled straight from a nightmare. Standing nearly 10 meters tall, covered in primitive feathers, and built with bizarre proportions, it baffled paleontologists for decades. But nothing about it was as shocking as its arms-long, awkward limbs ending in claws that reached up to 1 full meter. No other animal in Earth's history has ever possessed claws that long. These claws were not thick or reinforced like those of typical predators. They were long, razor-sharp, and astonishingly delicate curved blades designed for deep slicing. Even a single swipe had the potential to tear muscles, open flesh, and leave debilitating wounds. Larger predators often backed off after witnessing their reach. Yet what makes this creature even more fascinating is that these claws did not evolve for combat. Evolution crafted them to pull vegetation, strip branches, and access plants unreachable to other herbivores. The Therizinosaurus, ironically, was a peaceful, slow-moving plant eater equipped by accident with some of the most terrifying tools nature ever produced. This contradiction made the Therizinosaurus one of the most captivating dinosaurs ever discovered. A calm, quiet giant carrying weapons capable of dismantling almost any attacker. Its mere presence was often enough to discourage predators. Nature rarely arms peaceful creatures with such devastating tools unless absolutely necessary for survival. Despite avoiding conflict, it knew how to defend itself. Fossil evidence suggests predators occasionally retreated with severe injuries after misjudging the length and power of its arms. One poorly calculated step could result in a deep, life-threatening slash. The Therizinosaurus didn't need to win battles, it only needed to scare enemies away. It remains a testament to evolution's unpredictability, a gentle creature accidentally given the armor of a monster. Proof that in nature, even peaceful giants can become living warnings. Pachycephalosaurus. In a world filled with claws, horns, and bone-crushing jaws, the Pachycephalosaurus chose an entirely different path. It weaponized its own skull. Its dome-shaped head, up to 25 centimeters thick, acted like a natural helmet engineered for high-impact collisions. Its internal structure balanced rigidity and shock absorption, protecting the brain while maximizing the power of its strikes. Its reinforced spine allowed it to withstand and deliver brutal blows. This dinosaur didn't bite, grapple, or slash, it charged. When threatened, it lowered its head and sprinted forward like a biological battering ram weighing more than 900 pounds. A single impact could knock down rivals far larger than itself. These headbutts weren't used only for defense. Evidence shows males likely engaged in ritualized combat, smashing into one another to establish dominance or compete for mates. Many skull fossils display cracks, dents, and signs of healing, clear proof that repeated collisions were a natural part of their lives. The attacks were quick and incredibly precise. Strong neck muscles enabled powerful, short-range strikes targeting vulnerable regions such as ribs, jaws, and limbs. A well-placed blow could fracture bones, dislocate joints, or leave a predator stunned long enough for the Pachycephalosaurus to escape. Its dome also intimidated would-be opportunists. Predators knew a hidden attack could end disastrously. The Pachycephalosaurus essentially carried a shield attached to a sledgehammer. It could block lunges, defend its herd, and protect younger individuals. Each member of the species was both warrior and guardian. Although not one of the largest dinosaurs, it possessed one of the most effective natural weapons ever developed. Its thick skull was a symbol of resilience and a reminder that sometimes the simplest weapon, a powerful head, can be the most formidable. Utahraptor. When people imagine fast, intelligent predators, they often think of Hollywood's Velociraptor. But reality held something far more dangerous: the Utahraptor. Reaching up to 7 meters long and weighing more than 500 kilograms, It was the true evolutionary pinnacle of raptor-like hunters. Strength, precision, and strategy fused perfectly in this terrifying creature. Its muscular legs enabled explosive bursts of speed, perfect for ambushes. Its body was compact and agile, capable of sudden directional changes mid-chase. But nothing defined it more than its iconic weapon, a sickle-shaped claw on each foot, up to 35 centimeters long. This wasn't meant for scratching, this was a dagger built for piercing. Unlike predators that relied on bites to disable prey, the Utahraptor attacked with calculated leaps. It would pounce on larger animals, using its own weight to force them down. Then, with surgical precision, it drove its massive claw into vital points, arteries, the spine, the throat, delivering perfectly controlled killing blows. Fossil evidence suggests that Utahraptors may have hunted in coordinated groups. If true, they would rival some of the most sophisticated predators in Earth's history. A pack working together could isolate prey, distract it from one side, and strike from another. It was teamwork built around lethal efficiency. Even alone, it was terrifying. Its claw was capable of inflicting deep wounds that caused rapid blood loss. Large prey could be incapacitated with a single precise strike. The Utahraptor didn't need overwhelming size, it needed accuracy, and it had plenty. In a world crowded with monsters, the Utahraptor stood out not by being the biggest, but by being the most methodically lethal. A true assassin of the Cretaceous. Triceratops. The Triceratops may be one of the most famous dinosaurs on the planet, but few realize just how deadly its anatomy truly was. While many herbivores fled from danger, this 9-ton giant weaponized its head. Its two massive frontal horns, each exceeding a meter, were designed for piercing the thick hides of even the fiercest carnivores of the era. These horns were coated in keratin, making them even sharper and more durable. Connected to an enormous skull, they formed a rigid, impact-resistant structure. When threatened, the Triceratops lowered its head, planted its legs, and charged with the full weight of its body. The result wasn't just a powerful hit, it was annihilation. Tyrannosaurus fossils display puncture wounds that perfectly match Triceratops' horn dimensions and angles. Some impacts pierced incredibly dense bone, proving these titanic clashes were not only real, but often fatal for attackers. Each charge turned the herbivore into a living weapon capable of catastrophic damage. Behind the horns, its massive bony frill served as an armored shield. It protected the neck and shoulders from bites and could have amplified the animal's intimidation factor. Viewed hidden, a Triceratops looked less like prey and more like a mobile fortress. Behavioral evidence suggests these dinosaurs may have formed defensive circles around younger individuals, creating an impenetrable barrier of horns facing outward. Any predator approaching such a formation would confront a wall of sharpened spears, each capable of ending a fight instantly. The Triceratops was not a passive grazer, it was a warrior. Equipped with one of the finest offensive weapons ever evolved, it proved that in the age of dinosaurs, herbivores could be every bit as dangerous as the predators that hunted them. Deinocheirus. For decades, the Deinocheirus was one of paleontology's greatest mysteries. Only two massive arms were known, so enormous that scientists assumed they belonged to a monstrous predator. But later discoveries revealed a creature far stranger and far less violent than expected. Instead of a killer, it was a gentle giant with one of the most unusual body plans ever discovered. Stretching over 11 meters and weighing around 6 tons, the Deinocheirus had a bulky body, a huge belly, and a sail-like structure on its back. Its long, duck-shaped snout suggested a varied diet. Yet its arms remained its most iconic feature, oversized limbs ending in hooked claws up to 30 centimeters long. These claws were not ideal for hunting prey but were perfect for digging, pulling vegetation, and manipulating the environment. Still, in a confrontation, they could become terrifying weapons. A single powerful swing from those arms could inflict serious injuries even to apex predators like the Tarbosaurus. Its enormous reach allowed it to create distance between itself and attackers. Instead of fleeing, the Deinocheirus could pivot its torso, sweeping its long arms in broad arcs to establish a defensive perimeter. most predators quickly learned that attacking it simply wasn't worth the risk. As an omnivore, it had access to resources that others couldn't exploit. Those long limbs allowed it to graze from tall trees, dig for roots, and forage in wet environments. Its versatility made it a master survivor in ecosystems full of specialists, giving it advantages that few competitors could match. In many ways, the Deinocheirus represents evolution's creativity at its best. A peaceful creature armed with formidable tools not to conquer, but to endure. A reminder that life always finds a way to adapt, and sometimes, the most unusual forms hide the most remarkable stories. Evolution never wastes anything. Every spike, every horn, every bone plate was crafted to solve a problem, to survive, to endure, to live another day. The world of dinosaurs was a vast biological battlefield where life reinvented itself again and again. Each creature you saw today carried a unique weapon, not to dominate, but to persist in a world governed by brutality. From tails capable of crushing bone, to horns that could pierce giant predators, to claws that could shred entire trees, each adaptation tells a story of extreme survival. Those giants may be gone, but the marks they left in fossils and in our imagination continue to captivate us. Now I want to hear from you. Which prehistoric weapon do you think was the most insane? And which one would you never want to face? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. If you enjoyed this journey through the hidden arsenal of the dinosaur world, make sure to like the video, share it, and subscribe to Cloaked Mysteries for more stories the science books rarely tell. Thank you for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.